dear, there's no need to cry. I flinched and choked back a sob when his hand rested on my shoulders. I'm sure you'll find a job in the city. It's all right, though. I love to see insects like you grovel under my feet. Okay, never mind. You are kind of a jerk. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and today I want to play the demo for Lover's Paranoia. You have been warned. Proceed? Yes. You press start to get killed instantly. Oh my. It seems like my savior has finally come to save me. Please do tell me your name, dear savior. Why do I have the feeling that there are shenanigans already afoot? Oh. Shenanigans! It appears we are being recorded. Hi, mortals. Hi. It seems like you have come from another world. You must be wondering, who is this dashingly awesome being I'm talking to right now? I didn't bother to call myself anything other than my host calling me Entity. I still think he should be more creative with the naming, but oh well. Everyone loves a sassy entity. Perhaps you can use that name as well. Anyways, you are now in the consciousness of another mortal. After all, you decided to play this game. Yeah, I did. Oh yes. I do know in your world, our world is a game to you mortals. Oh no, this is the best kind of shenanigans. I would assume your world is above us, or below. Is it above or below? Don't ask me. Above? So you associate your world as heaven or perhaps paradise. Well, I don't know. A few of these self-aware game characters really want to come here. I don't know why. How interesting. Let's move on. I would like to ask you for some help. Just a simple request. You just need to reach the game's true ending. Well, I can't do that because this is just a demo. What's the true ending? Of course, my host and your vessel leaving the island safely, of course. Why do I get the feeling that's not going to be easy? It's crucial to me. Why? I just care about their safety. Is that unbelievable? Do you see the expression on my face of unbelievability? Now, to be honest, I don't believe you. How dare you, smiley face? Before we continue any further, why don't you tell me more about yourself? Blank decided to abandon the gods. Okay. It was Blank's idea to go against them. This is a cute way to choose my pronouns. But the gods never forgave. And also, to show backstory. What pet would you like to have? Dog, cat, snake, hamster. I want an alligator. I have a cat. I see. Excellent. Now, allow me to brief you on your cute little vessel here. Your vessel decided it was a great idea to move to this island, which honestly is a little stupid of them. Classic me, or classic my vessel, since this island has a tiny little dark secret. Anyone can come in freely, but no one gets out. May it be from accidental death or intentional death, but no one leaves. It is a cursed island to keep us beings in check. So we're all stuck here on Paradise Island? Oh my, I'm getting sidetracked. Your vessel experiences very bad anxiety, and all you have to do is make the right choices so that it doesn't get overwhelmed. A mortal who has overwhelming emotions is not fit to be in this island. They tend to make rash choices, which sadly gives us unfavorable outcomes. Challenge accepted, but I'm gonna be nice at first. But we must make do with what we've got. Let me simulate a scenario. Am I getting my keys now? Am I? Please make a choice. Yes. Then what's taking so long? Notice the edges in your vision affecting you? That's an indication of how bad your vessel's anxiety is affecting them. Oh no! I was here for yanderes, but I got anxiety simulator. It would be best to keep your vessel's mind stable. But it would come in handy in certain situations. You mean when I gotta go buck wild and pull out the 30 years of pent-up rage? A double-edged sword, as one might say. So your decisions matter, mortal. Oh, and also there are other actions and items that can help the vessel's mind, so you might want to have them just for emergencies. It seems we're running out of time. What a pity. I'd like to get to know you more, dear, but time is such a fickle thing. Let's wrap this up. There will be lots of obstacles that your vessel will be facing, especially creatures similar to me. I don't even know what you are, and I don't really trust you. But those fools think bloodshed is the way to set them free. Me? I'm not as barbaric as them. I figured that out. Killing you is not a wise option. You must be asking, why me? What did I do? My dear, you were just unlucky. No, I was just curious because I saw a cool game. To ensure your vessel's safety, all I ask you to do is
cooperate with my host.
Okay.
Or your vessel will face the consequences.
The time has come, I suppose. You can't just pull out red shaky text on me and expect me to trust you. See you later, my dear savior. Thud. I fell out of bed with a loud thud, gasping loudly as I held my chest. You listen here, voice. I didn't forget that you know who I am. That better not come back to haunt me. Great. Another nightmare. Another mysterious voice calling me its savior. With a sigh, I rubbed the sweat off of my face before taking deep breaths. Nightmares were a common thing for me whenever I got too tired. Oh no, I've got my work cut out for me. Don't worry, Vessel, I'll protect you. But ever since I got here a month ago, I can't seem to remember what they are about. It's as if my consciousness leaves from my body whenever I slept. Actually, I still felt a little tired. Maybe I can close my eyes for a moment. Meld! Flinching, I jolted awake by the alarm on my phone that was going off louder than usual. I sat up with an annoyed sigh and felt around the floor to pick up my phone. Once I felt the smooth touch of the screen, I picked it up and swiped the alarm off. I swear, I'm pretty sure I didn't leave the alarm this loud. My words were cut short when I finally saw the time and date, and multiple other reminders and alarms I left earlier on, which was supposed to wake me up on my first day of work. Whoops. I'm 3 hours late on my first... 3 hours late? Oh, just hand in your resignation at that point. I'm 3 hours late on my first day? Merda! Crap! I scrambled to get up from the floor and dashed towards the bathroom to get ready. But I broke my neck on the way, only to trip and fall from a shirt I left on the floor for God knows how long, and fall face first onto the ground. Oh wait, did I actually crack my neck? Am I dead? Is this how the story ends? Ouch. Okay, I'm not dead. Geez, Vessel. I groaned in pain and sat up from the ground, holding my nose. Ow, 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 it hurts. Please tell me I didn't actually break my nose. I slowly pulled my hand away, hoping there won't be any blood on it. Yeah, I think that is clearly blood. Well, I have an excuse for being 3 hours late. Like, well, why are you all disheveled and your nose is bloody? I rescued orphans. Just my luck. Of course this had to happen on the day where I'm late for my first job. I carefully got up and walked to the bathroom as I continued on with my rambling, occasionally wincing from the pain as I tried to stop the bleeding. And on the first day of work, too. Whatever, I'll just have to deal with it. Isn't it going to be a great day? Today's gonna be an amazing day. Today's gonna be an amazing day. I sat on the ground to put my shoes on before I leave the apartment. As I was tying my shoelaces, my eyes slowly drifted to the cabinet right by the door. Right, I left my pills in there. I used to bring my pills with me when I was in high school, but recently I haven't gotten any anxiety attacks. Should I take them with me? Yes! I should probably take them with me, just in case. You obtained a bottle of pills. I turned to look back at my room one last time, Ensuring that I didn't leave anything important behind, I immediately took notice that the window was open. That's never a good sign in a game that hosts a yandere character. No wonder it was freezing last night. I flinched at the sudden ringing of my phone that echoed loudly in my room. Meld! Boss is calling! I picked up the call and ran out of my room, forgetting to close my window again on my way out. I managed to reach the hotel on time, but not really gracefully, as one would say, in which I mean fumbling my way inside the hotel, my clothes all crumpled up, my hair disheveled as if I had just stepped into a hurricane, and my jacket barely hanging on for dear life. To make things worse, I almost crashed into one of the leaving guests as they glared at me. Tch, watch where you're going. You're lucky that my coffee didn't spill on me. It was then that I noticed he was holding a huge cup of coffee that would likely put someone into a coma in his right hand, and a suitcase in his left. I'm sorry, sir. I'll be more careful next time. I bowed to him multiple times as he scoffed and gave me an odd look before turning away to leave. I sighed out of relief before flinching again for the second time as I heard the door slam open. You! Me? Oh, crap. I slowly turned around to face my very ticked-off boss. Boss, listen, I'm sorry. But, boss, I'm so sorry. I overslept, and I had to rescue 16 orphans from a bear in a burning orphanage and ninjas. That's why I'm late. Shut it. I don't want to hear any excuses. This is the first time I've seen a person having the guts to show up to work late on their first day. And to top that off, almost cause a scene in the hotel. I could feel the anger radiating out of him. I immediately bowed my head down in embarrassment. He sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose. You're lucky that I'm short on staff right now. If not, I would have thrown you out just for turning up 3 hours late. I would have thrown myself out for turning up 3 hours late. I let out a sigh of relief. Thank you, boss. I promise it won't happen again. He rolled his eyes and grumbled under his breath. Youngsters these days. Not a youngster, I'm 38. He looked back at me before suddenly leaning his face closer to my own. I unconsciously flinched back after noticing how close we were. What happened to your nose? Well, like I said, I was rescuing orphans. From a bear in a burning building and ninjas. You look like a football smashed right into your nose. Oh, I fell down on the way here. I held my breath as he scanned my face for a while. What's his problem? I relaxed when he finally moved away, grumbling out something again before pointing to the back room. Your uniform is in there, and there should be a med kit in the top shelf. Oh, maybe he's not a bad boss. And I'm not doing this out of pity. I just don't like my workers showing up all bruised up. He smirked and walked to the counter. It's bad for business, after all. Scratch that. He's a biscuit. I sighed and went to the back room to get my uniform and medkit. Now that I think about it, I do not know how to care for a broken nose. I need to research that. After getting changed and patching up my nose in the changing room, I walked over to the counter where my boss was waiting. He starts teaching me the basics, like where to clock in and how to register new guests. Boss, there are some things you left out. I'm sure you're smart enough to figure them out. What? Well, you're still young. Youngsters these days catch up very fast. I have no doubts that you can do the same. But these things are new to me. He scoffed and glared at me. Maybe I would have taught you more if you showed up on time. That's fair. I felt anger surge within me as I clenched my hands into fists. Calm down, Espoir. He's your boss. If you lose your cool now, you most likely won't get a job ever again. I'm not sure if I should apologize to him again or keep quiet, seeing that his mood is as crappy as it is. Stay silent. I decided to stay quiet. You keep those inside thoughts inside. Talking to him more might irritate him even further. I kept my head down and felt his eyes roam on my body. A shiver went down my spine when I suddenly felt his hand patting my back. No, that doesn't mean that you're not forgiven for your mistake. Just do a good job and we won't have any issues. I gulped as a pit formed in my stomach, while his touch lingered on my back for too long after the last pat. Sir?
Oh, no touchy!
A small amount of bile rises up before I gulped it back down as I try to ease the feeling of his touch. I watched him silently as he returned to the back office. He stopped for a moment before glancing back at me from the doorway. Make sure you don't slack off. There are other things to do when guests are not around. Wait, what? Other things? He never mentioned those things. But boss, what do you mean other... He closed the door before I could finish my question. I grumbled under my breath and rubbed my forehead in frustration. How am I even supposed to learn when I don't even know what I'm supposed to do? I was aware that the work on this island is hard and demanding, but I didn't expect a hotel of all things to be like this. I looked back at the computer on the desk and thought for a moment. I guess there's no harm in checking the guest list. I turned on the computer and started scrolling down the guest list as I waited for people to come in. This is so boring. I gotta stare at that cool picture of the aurora borealis. I've been standing here for nearly an hour, and I expected at least one guest to walk in. But so far, no one even glanced at the hotel from outside. Probably because it's the weekday or something like that. I mumbled and let out a small huff before grabbing the chair next to me and sitting down. I heard my phone's messaging ringtone go off multiple times next to me. Mom usually doesn't message me at this time. I picked up my phone and stared at the notifications that was on my screen. Great, it's from him. Oh no, not him. Why did he message me out of the blue? Even if we were friends before, he never bothered to text me after the fight months ago. I seriously don't want to check the messages. But it could be important since he's close to my mom. Should I check the messages? Well, you know what? We don't want no stress. I'm not stressing myself. Ignore. I rolled my eyes and shoved my phone in my bag. If it was something important, they would have called me and left a message because I'm not picking up the phone. I'll check the messages when I get back home. Or never. I stifled a yawn as my eyes grew heavy from doing nothing at all. I glanced around the lounge to make sure no one was watching before plopping down into the chair. A quick nap wouldn't hurt. I slowly closed my eyes, letting the comforting embrace of darkness welcome me. The city burnt brightly in the flames, while explosions echoed in my ears. What's going on? I could hear splashing beneath me as my vision swayed up and down, mimicking as if I was on a boat. I think I'm on a boat right now. I don't want to be on a boat. I felt my fingers twitching on my right hand. I feel like I'm about to throw up. I can't move. I could feel myself struggling to breathe, my chest tingling as I started to hyperventilate. Then I felt warmth on my twitching fingers. Finally, I could move my head to look at my hand. It was held by a hand that wasn't my own. I slowly looked up at the person next to me. Ooh. I was jolted awake by the sudden slam of the counter, the deafening noise vibrating in my skull. If it's my boss, I am so fired. Cute! Oh wait, that looks like the guy in the vision I just had just now. What? Oh, crap! I yelped in shock, tumbling off my chair as I noticed someone standing at the counter with a very ticked-off look. Ow! 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 Just put me in the hospital now. I can't keep taking these bumps. I groaned in pain, rubbing my aching lower back. Finally, you're awake. I'm honestly amazed that people can still slack off here, of all places. You're just begging to get fired, aren't you? I kind of am. I gawked up at him from the ground. Fluff! I scrambled to my feet, bowing repeatedly as I broke into a cold sweat. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect anyone to come in since it's a working day and... I don't want to hear your excuses, he grumbled, flicking his wrist to toss his card onto the counter. The biggest room you've got, and make it quick. I've been standing here for nearly 30 minutes. You didn't think to poke me or something? Of course. I'm so sorry again, sir. I began checking him in and asked for his details. Can I have your name? And, how many days are you staying? He clicked his tongue and tossed another card on the counter. Don't hit me, sir. What, did this job come with psychic powers and I gotta read your mind and know what your name is? I stared at it for a moment before slowly picking it up. Kane. It's kind of necessary to have your last name in there, brother. There's probably clues here, but I don't know them. It was his ID. Just for a day. I expect you to know who I am by now, but it seems like you're new here. My left eye twitched at his statement. Who the fluff does he think he is? He acts like he owns the place. You know what? Maybe he does. I took a deep breath to calm myself down once more. I have a feeling that I'm going to do this a lot. I put on my best fake smile. Yes, sir. It's my first day. I'll get your key as soon as possible. I looked back at his card and stared at his name. Mr. Kane? What is it now? I did a double take at his card, my eyes flicking back to him. Why is the last name on your ID scribbled out with a marker? Just keep my last name blank. But sir... Just do as I say or you'll regret it. Alright, okay. I looked back at the computer and entered his name. You know, since he doesn't want me to put in his last name, I can just put whatever I want, right? Tee. Now, as much as I would like to mess with this dude, I don't want to give myself an anxiety attack. It said to keep it blank, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to cause any more trouble for this person. Yet. He looked ready to murder the next person who dared to irritate him. And most likely, it'll be me. I left his last name blank, and surprisingly, the system accepted the request. Huh. All done. Here's your card. He reached his hand out to take the card back. It was then that I noticed dark red flaky skin on his knuckles. Is that blood? It's none of my business. Oh God, his knuckles are bleeding. Did he get into a fight? My eyes lingered on his knuckles as my grip tightened around the ID. He noticed that I hadn't let go of the ID and followed my gaze. His glare deepened. Give me my card. Now. That's a scary look. That's a scary look. I like the color of your eyes, but that's a scary look. I gulped, weighing my next course of action. What do you mean, treat his knuckles. Is that something a concierge does? I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to help him out. Please wait here a moment. I shoved his ID and key card into my front pocket before he could grab them from me. I could feel his piercing gaze boring into the back of my skull as I turned to grab something from the backpack I'd left on the chair. You're really pushing my buttons right now. You just hold on a second. Trust me, it won't take long, sir. If I can only find it in this mess. What do you... Found it. I turned around with a bright smile. I might have talked to you for only a few minutes. He huffed, his tone growing progressively more impatient and annoyed, but I definitely could hear curiosity underlying it. However, I can already tell whatever you're planning isn't good. As I've said, this won't take too long, so please don't worry. But it might be painful. He jolted when I carefully touched his hand, body going slightly frigid as a tiny blush covered his cheeks. It was kind of adorable. Aww. What do you think you're doing? I don't know what fight you went through. Maybe you also rescued orphans from a bear. But it must have been a bad one if your knuckles ended up like this. Luckily, I always have an emergency kit in my bag. But, I don't have proper bandages for it, but it should be enough to cover the wounds. I wasn't sure why I wanted to help him, but something about him made me want to help. I only heard a small grunt from him. Taking that as an approval to continue, I started cleaning the blood from his wounds as gently as I could. He just kept staring at me, unnervingly, like I was some kind of creature he couldn't recognize. Is it really that weird to help someone? If it hurts, please let me know. Again, he gave me only a non-committal grunt. For someone so grumpy moments ago, he had surprisingly mellowed out. I lightly gnawed on my lower lip and began applying antiseptic to his wounds. I could feel small flinches from him, but he never made a sound or protested. After making sure his wounds were properly cleaned, I carefully covered them with the only bandages I had at the moment. Some good old cheap store-bought bandages. Sorry, that's all I have right now to cover them. I would have used the med kit the hotel has, but... I pointed at my bandaged nose. I fell down this morning, rescuing orphans, and boss told me to use it. It didn't have much anyways. I explained, crossing my fingers, hoping it wouldn't anger him further. That heavy gaze was back on me, and I didn't have the guts to look him in the eye, so I kept my eyes down, focused on the silly bandages, trying to distract myself by smoothing them down. Disgruntled anime noises! Once I was satisfied with the poorly covered wounds, I quickly let go of his hand, realizing I've been holding it for longer than I was meant to. I'm no medic, but living a life prone to accidents, I've gotten pretty good at patching up wounds with whatever I had on hand. Even if it's poorly done sometimes, or if the band-aid's got little dinosaurs on them. That should do it. Make sure to patch them up properly when you get back home. He stared at the bandages silently, his eyes filled with uncertainty. Did I somehow make him mad again?
Are you not able to afford proper bandages? Listen, rescuing orphans from bears doesn't pay very well.
Huh? I stared at him, stunned.
It's really ugly, and it's barely holding up on itself.
Is he for real? In that moment, something inside me snapped.
No, calm down, me. Don't unpack the rage just yet. You could.
I'm sorry.
What? Did you somehow lose your voice? Speak up. I said I'm sorry for helping, man!
Excuse me. He jumped back in surprise.
Uh-oh, I'm going beast mode. I'm crashing out.
My throat tightened as my eyes began to sting, on the verge of tears.
Hey.
He reached out to me, but I yanked my hand away before he could touch me. Without thinking, I slammed his ID and keycard on the counter, then quickly packed up everything I had left. If you need anything, please contact the owner. Before he could utter another word, I stormed out of the hotel. I didn't want to be in that place anyway. I don't care if this gets me fired. I just can't stand being treated like this, especially after being nice. Is this how everyone treats people nowadays? Man, I'm definitely screwed now. I'm getting fired for sure.
Actually, in this world, I'll probably be promoted.
But I couldn't take it anymore. I don't think I could have withstood another insult if I stayed. As I walked further away from the hotel, the rain started pouring heavily. Great. Now Mother Nature's mocking me. Or she's cooling me off. And I forgot to bring my umbrella. Well, at least no one can see my tears. Rushing into my room, I threw my bag aside and collapsed against the door, letting out a choked sob. Dang it! I screwed everything up again. On my first job, too.
Kinda screwed up when I was 3 hours late.
I stared blankly at the floor, feeling lightheaded as dread sank deep into my chest. Negative thoughts about what tomorrow might bring swirled in my mind. Don't think about it. Please, just shut up, brain. Shut up. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Take pills. Take pills.
My pills are in my bag. Right. I just need my pills. Grabbing my bag from where I threw it, I fumbled with shaky hands, pulling out the bottle of pills. I unscrewed the cap and swallowed a pill quickly. Leaning against the wall with a sigh, I waited for the pills to kick in, hoping they'd calm the storm in my head. Whew! After about an hour, the pressure in my head finally ebbed away, leaving behind a dull numbness, and I exhaled in relief. I stood up from the floor and made my way further into my room, falling into my usual routine. Take a shower, check the room. Okay. What a cute little house. Ooh, washer. I took off the clothes I was wearing and threw them in the washing machine. Not caring if there were any white clothes in the bunch, I poured some of the cleaning detergent together with the clothes. I slammed the door shut before turning on the washer. It's going to take a while. I should take a shower in the meantime. Shower? That's a cute shower. I slipped into the shower with a content sigh, feeling my muscles relax in the warm water. I reached for my soap bottle and lathered it on my body. I stepped out of the shower and dried myself up before putting on my clothes. I should probably check on my stuff. Who knows if anything has been stolen? Especially when I forgot to close the window. Oh yeah, also I should probably check my phone to see what that message was about. But I live on the 3rd floor. That hasn't stopped some of the yanderes I've met. Best to be safe. Check the room. Book. I pulled out the biology book from the bookcase. I've had this book with me since I started high school. I always enjoyed reading science books, ever since I watched that science documentary when I was young. Only issue was, I had trouble remembering the names for each scientific part of the body. Well, at least now I can enjoy reading the book on my spare time. I placed the book back in the bookcase. Ooh, is that a little terrarium? I walked over to my terrarium. It has seen better days. I really need to get the supplies so it doesn't die soon. Aw. Oh yeah, clothes that probably should go in the washer too. I slowly picked up one of my clothes from the corner of my couch that I probably haven't washed yet in a week. Or a year. Silly me. It can't be more than a year. I only moved in last month. I cheekily stuck my tongue out and winked at the reflection of myself in the laptop screen. Chee-hee. Okay, that was awful as heck. No, that was kawaii as heck. Has me getting fired caused me to be this cringe? I scrunched up my face in disgust as a shudder ran down my spine. I dropped the shirt back down into the pile and attempted to forget my ridiculous actions. Hey, you're alone. There's nobody watching you. Maybe we need to close this window. Oh, what is this portrait? What is this lore? I picked up the picture frame next to my window with a small smile. Mom, Dad, I hope you don't worry about me now. I'm sorry for giving you so much trouble. I wondered if they're doing better now. I sighed and placed the frame back where it was. What are these papers next to my laptop? A stack of books sat on the corner of my table, mostly a bunch of job interview tips and questions to help me when I'm job hunting. I was thinking about keeping these away since I got a job, but I guess I'm back to square one. I don't know, maybe they'll be impressed by me. What's on my laptop? I touched the keypad on my laptop and realized that it was really warm. Crap, I must have forgotten to turn it off. I tapped on the keypad a few times to turn my screen and check the battery power. 10%. I sighed and grabbed my charger from my bag and connected it to the laptop. It should be fully charged by tomorrow. Ah, cute little mug. A dirty cat mug was placed next to my laptop. It was gifted? Bought? I'd probably buy that. I bought it years ago when I saw it at the store. I had a huge obsession on cats when I was young. I chose my pet to be a cat. Yeah, I still like kitties. I still have the same interests for cats. Never grew out of that phase, I guess. They're just so darn cute. It's been sitting there since last night. I should probably wash it. Maybe later. Now, what's this cute little TV here? I walked over to the TV and stuck my hand into the empty space next to it, trying to find the remote. After a few minutes, my fingers brushed on something cold and smooth, almost like plastic. I slowly wrapped my fingers around it, despite feeling tiny pins poking my fingertips. What the heck am I touching? I pulled whatever was in the empty space after having a good grip on it. It was a cockroach.
Alright, I gotta leave.
Good night, everybody. I immediately threw the cockroach out of the open window. Ew, 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 ew. I have to burn my hands. I have to burn this house. I nearly gagged at the thought of it. Don't get me wrong, I love bugs, but my history with cockroaches... Ugh. I shook my head, trying to forget about what happened. I turned to look where I threw the nasty thing out before noticing the window was wide open. Oh, I must have forgotten to close it last night. I should probably close it soon before I forget again. Have you explored your room? There might be some secrets hidden. Don't you give me that. Oh, all right. Radio? I pressed a few buttons on the old radio. Only static can be heard. I should really throw this out, but it's so cute. Oh, ooh, this looks hidden. I picked up the jewelry box from the top of the bookcase. I sighed softly and traced the edges of the box. It was a necklace gifted from someone I used to care about. Before that fight happened. I guess I hoped that he would understand me. Keep it? Dispose of it? Yeah, keep it. Yeah. I put back the box where it was. It would be a waste to throw it away. It's a pretty necklace after all. Reveal your secrets. I pulled out an old leather-bound book that had a diamond-shaped symbol on its cover. I raised a brow and turned the cover over. My eyes softened at the messily written name on the first page. It was my journal, the one I had since I was 10. I think I spent most of my time writing the moments I had. I flipped to a random page. What's this? Eh? Like zoinks, Scoob, that sure does look like a clue. You obtained a note. Log number 001? What in the world? What the heck is this creepy note doing here? In my 10-year-old diary? Unless I put it there when I was 10. Did someone break into my room? This must be the secrets that the thing was warning me about. But that can't be possible. I always lock my door and I live pretty high up. Maybe it was a prank with one of my old friends. I'll keep this with me for now. I don't know if you should keep that. That seems like it's evidence. Alright, I think we can close it now. I shivered as I stepped closer to the window. People were bustling around in the city, as always, trying to do their day-to-day jobs. I sighed and thought back on the time I first got the apartment. It was a struggle, especially when the prices are ungodly high. I was lucky enough to get a room, but my landlord is ticked at me for not paying rent. It's already due. I should get to job searching soon. I let out a soft yawn and closed the window. Go to bed? Well, I gotta put the clothes in the washer into the dryer, or else they'll get moldy. Oh, all right. After finishing with my chores, I flopped onto my decently soft bed I spent with my remaining savings. I probably should just sleep in tomorrow. Not like I have a job after this. I get a call back and they said, "You're the manager now. We respected you for standing up for yourself." I held back my tears on what had happened earlier on the day and held onto the pillow. Just sleep it off, Espoir. You'll be okay tomorrow. I slowly closed my eyes before falling asleep. It's warm. Too warm. Maybe I should open that window back up. I tried to open my eyes. Nothing. It was as if my eyelids had been sealed shut. I willed my arms to move, but they wouldn't budge. Trapped, confined in a space too tight to escape. The same goes for my legs. A sharp, suffocating pressure settled over my chest. My breaths came in short, panicked gasps. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I needed to wake up. How dare you? How? Wait, what? Was that a quick time event? How dare you? Bad end 3. Eaten in your dreams. Rude. Oh dear me, that wasn't my fault. It appears you have encountered one of my siblings. Well, they're very rude, and I'm going to send a complaint to HR. I won't blame you if you couldn't defeat them easily, especially if it's your first time meeting them. I would talk to you more about them, but it appears that we do not have the time right now. Oh, you got time for jokes, but you don't have time to explain how to not die. There's always later to chat. See you. Rude. Oh, I see. I see. I see what you're doing there. I'm not good at typing. All right. Let's see if I can do this.
Watch out!
Ha ha! Oh, shoot. How dare you? How dare you? Have to call up my husband, get him to do this part. Come on! Quit it! Stop! Z? Okay, alright, no. You know what? I'll take the L. I'm not that good at typing. I give up. You got me. You got the tater. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's all I got. Enjoy your meal. You know what, buddy, pal, making me crash out. Here, take your ID. Take your ID, and I hope your knuckles get infected. I slowly let go of his ID. Sorry. I quickly handed him his keycard, avoiding eye contact. He shot me a glance before heading towards the elevator.
Make your hours count.
You better make your hours count. Huh? Before I could question him further, the elevator door shut behind him. That was weird. I continued to do my job for the rest of the day, the ominousness weighing down on me from his words. And I decided to push on, dealing with the guests. Why do most of them act like they have a stick up their butt? Who's spitting their oatmeal? I sighed dramatically as I clocked out of work after grabbing my stuff. As I was about to set foot out of the lobby, my boss exited the back office with a smug look.
Run faster, I'm off the clock!
Oh, hello, boss. I was just about to leave. I'll see you tomorrow. I gave him the same fake smile I wore the whole day. Probably would have perfected it after how many times I had to fake it during work.
Oh, that won't be necessary.
I looked at him with a stunned expression. What do you mean, boss? He smirked and chuckled at me.
You're fired, newbie. I heard from our CEO that you were slacking off, and you were very unprofessional.
Well, you know what, that's fine. I didn't want this dumb job anyway. You guys are mean. I don't know. Dread slowly creeped into my body as he walked closer to me.
But if you really want to keep your job,
let me stop you right there, sir. I backed away until my body hits a wall.
There are other things you can do.
The next words out of your mouth better be involve cleaning the floors or scrubbing the windows or something, 'cause I'm not doing anything more than that. I shivered in fear and disgust as his arms wrapped around my waist.
I promise that's enough.
Uh-oh. I froze when I heard a familiar voice coming from behind my boss. A tiny squeak left out of me as my boss gets yanked away from me. My boss stumbled back from the force and stared at Kane in shock.
Mr. Kane, I didn't know you were still here. I told you to inform them, not sexually assault them. Sir, you're mistaken.
No, that's exactly what I was gonna do. Get him! Get him!
We're just... Get out.
Huh?
Get out of my hotel.
Oh, it's his hotel, hee.
I don't like people like you staining my name. I was going to fire you anyways due to how many times this location needed to cycle their employees. I expect you to pack your stuff by the end of the day.
He walked past my boss, my former boss, and patted my shoulder with a chilling smile. Aw, see, you can be cute when you're not yelling at me.
Come, let's talk outside.
I gulped and shakily followed him, still scared out of my mind. We both stepped outside of the hotel, the cold air hitting my face as tears ran down it.
Oh dear, there's no need to cry.
I flinched and choked back a sob, and his hand rested on my shoulders.
I'm sure you'll find a job in the city, but from how you behave, it's probably not possible.
You shut up, I'm doing my best. His grip on my shoulders tightens as I felt my body shake from hyperventilating.
It's all right, though. I love to see insects like you grovel under my feet.
Okay, never mind. You are kind of a jerk.
If you need another job, stop by my place and I can help you.
I flinched my right hand as he slipped something into it. I couldn't hear the rest he had to say as I sprinted away from the hotel, gasping and crying in fear. The next few months, Espoir didn't bother to leave the house, traumatized from her first job. They ended up being evicted for not paying the rent and bills, leading them to be homeless. Well, you see, the joke's on you because, yeah, sure, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose, and then we'll really light this candle. Now you're just an empty husk in the alleyway, barely hanging on to that thread of life. But in the end, it was all but pointless. Bed in one. Fired. What a pity. Hey, you be quiet. You could have avoided this if you had just helped him. No, I didn't. No, I couldn't. He is, after all, my host. What? I'm sure you'll make the right decisions next time, my dear savior. Why is the V and the O and the S capitalized? Ara? Is this here? I don't think this was here. A file was added to the folder. Qu'est-ce que c'est? How mysterious. Patient's name, Aster. Now, this looks like a doctor wrote it. It's a bit difficult to read. Potential side effects? I see. I'm even more confused. Okay, maybe I can get some help from this thing called the cheat sheet. Alright, I'll help you out, but only to this extent. It won't be fun if I handed you everything, right? That's okay. I can handle it.
Oh my God!
What? I think the only thing I can do is try to beat this mini game. Listen, developer, I'm gonna quote Corey Kenshin on this, but you are not safe. Heck! Ah! You are not safe! You'll be hearing from my fictional husbands! I am not good at typing. I did not learn how to do the thing with my fingers. I would be eaten if I played even 5 seconds of Typing of the Dead, let alone knowing where the A, S, D, F, E, Z keys are. I know that arg was from them waking from a terrible dream, but that scream of pain was me. I crashed onto the cold floor with a heavy thump, and then I quickly saved my game because I ain't doing that again. Ow! I let out a weak groan as I curled up on the cold surface of the ground. That was one strange dream, but I could hardly recall anything about it except for those eyes that I'm gonna poke. I'm gonna have a word with those beasts. It almost felt too real. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves before slowly pushing myself upright on the cold floor. Wait, did I watch something that could have triggered it? I scratched my head, trying to piece together what had caused it, before letting out a weary sigh. Whatever. It's just a hallucination, right? I struggled to push myself up to my bed, but my body wobbled, swaying dangerously to the side as if I were about to topple over. Oh, crap! Goodness! My poor little vessel is so accident-prone. I scrambled to steady myself, gripping the bed frame tightly before collapsing onto the mattress. I gasped for air, dizziness crashing over me with brutal force. I gently pressed my hand to my forehead, sighing as the heat burned through my skin. Great! I have a fever now. I groaned in annoyance, reaching for my phone to turn off the alarm, seriously considering throwing it out the window. After a few taps, I laid back down on the bed for a few minutes as my headache intensified. Just as I was about to contemplate about my life, I felt my stomach growl in hunger. Hungry, and I ran out of food yesterday, and I need to get my laundry done and clean the room. Maybe it's the fever, but I found myself rambling about everything that needed to be done, yet my body refused to move. Oh, I felt that. Maybe just a few minutes. I can close my eyes. Just as I was on the edge of slipping into sleep, my phone blasted through the silence, ringing sharply in my ears. I groaned and picked up my phone. Again. I swear to God, whoever this is it the person that I didn't answer the message of in the beginning? It was Boss's name on the screen. He's gonna say, "Where are you?" And I'd be like, "I quit. The people were rude, and I can't take it." Is it too late to start praying? Time to get yelled at and fired on call. Yay! I picked up the call. A spa. Boss? Where the bloody heck are you? Not there. I'm so sorry, boss. If you plan to fire me, then you can just say it on call. Oh, trust me. I would have fired you the second I heard from Mr. There was a brief moment of silence before I heard someone talking in the background, but I couldn't make out what it was being said. Huh? Look, just get over here now. Wait, what's... I had to do a painful cutscene to get this. I had to do probably the hardest QuickTime event of my life. You better be putting a medal upon my neck and a flowery wreath around my shoulders. The line was cut off. Huh. Do I really need to go and suffer again? I guess I might as well get it over with. Maybe I'll get my one-day pay. I rubbed my eyes and shakily got out of bed, heading to the hotel in my feverish state. Oh yeah, and I'm sick. I'm gonna give all of you a cold. I stepped into the hotel, fighting the urge to collapse from exhaustion and the faintness that threatened to overwhelm me. I noticed that no one was at the counter, which somewhat surprised me. I thought they would have gotten a replacement by now. Stepping closer to the counter, I rang the bell and waited for someone to come over. After a few minutes, which felt like hours of waiting, Boss stepped out of the room, with a familiar figure following him behind. Oh, it was the man from yesterday. I guessed he was with the boss to file a complaint on my behavior. Maybe Boss wanted me to apologize in front of him. This is so humiliating. I should have just stayed home. It took you long enough. Sorry, I was busy wallowing in self-despair. Anyways, I called you here for a different reason. Boss didn't seem pleased. I guess it's not happy news for me. Steel yourself, Espoir. Here comes one of your newest and most embarrassing moments. You'll be transferring jobs. Wait, what? That's what I said. Oops, I said that out loud. Alongside with a promotion. Promotion? What for? I think my jaw just hit the floor. Trust me, kid, I don't get what you did to deserve a promotion either. Are you questioning my decisions? A chill ran down my spine from how cold Kane's voice sounded when talking to the boss. Of course not, Mr. Kane. I would never. It sure sounds like you're questioning me. Kane stepped closer to the boss, his hand coming down firmly on his shoulder, squeezing it with a tight grip. Or perhaps you're trying to say that I do not know how to run my own business. Never. I would never. Oh, wow. Got him shaken in his NPC boots. I think this is the first time I've ever seen the boss this rattled. Well, to be fair, I just knew him for 2 days, so... Maybe he was just that easily rattled by intimidating people with really cool yellow eyes. Wait, Kane owns this hotel? Kane smiled at the boss and patted his back.
Then you can get back to work. I've already arranged for a replacement in a few days. Yes, of course, Mr. Kane.
Boss quickly ran back to the office. What a chicken. I turned back to Kane, casting him a puzzled glance. What's going on? I was about to ask him what had happened earlier when I suddenly felt myself leaning backwards. Oh yeah, the fever.
Espoir!
Just before I completely fell, a pair of arms swiftly wrapped around me, gently guiding me to lean against something firm and warm. Yeah, you better... Oh. Well, before I get into the object of how pretty his eyes are, you better give me special treatment for that QuickTime event I had to go through. Hardest QuickTime event of my life. I want a medal. Also, his eyes are both green and yellow. He's got Sprite eyes. A faint scent of cedarwood enveloped me, offering a strange sense of comfort. I panted heavily, my vision blurring as a wave of dizziness washed over me, the heat radiating from my skin due to the fever. I whimpered softly and shut my eyes as a cold hand pressed against my forehead. The touch feels nice.
You're burning up. Did you end up getting soaked in the rain yesterday?
I attempted to answer, but all that came out were sneezes and coughs.
Can you give me your address? I'll help you back.
His voice began to fade into a blur as my headache intensified. Despite his usual grumpiness, his voice is surprisingly soothing. And now I'm feeling dangerously close to sleep. Maybe a nap doesn't sound so bad right now. I let myself drift back into consciousness, feeling my body being gently lifted and carried away. I let out a tiny groan as I caught a whiff of something delicious in the air. Maybe I somehow got transported to heaven. I winced as I felt some sort of light hitting my face. Or maybe I'm not in heaven. I tossed and turned a few more times on the most comfortable bed I'd ever felt before finally, albeit reluctantly, opening my eyes. Eh? Did he take me home, to his home? It took me a few minutes to get out of the hazy state before noticing that I'm in an unfamiliar room. Merde, have I been kidnapped? I shot out of bed, only to collapse back down with a loud groan. The headache returned, and I covered my eyes with my hands to block out the harsh sunlight. Ow, ow, ow. And count how many times poor me hurts themselves in this. I hear shuffling in the distance before a figure approaches, carrying a tray. Ah, so that's where the smell was coming from. I slowly turned my head to get a better look at my kidnapper, my eyes widening in surprise.
Oh, you're awake. That's good. I was wondering when you were going to wake up. I made some soup. It should help with the fever.
He placed the tray on the bedside table. I blinked at him several times, my mind still struggling to process what was happening. First of all, if it doesn't get copyright claimed, this song is very juicy. People get pregnant to this kind of song. What happened? Well, what happened was I was sick and I collapsed. Where am I? Well, we're obviously in his house. And how long was I asleep? How long was I knocked out?
About 5 hours. It's afternoon now.
5?
5 hours?
Oh, God.
Don't worry about it. Your fever was pretty high.
Then why didn't you take me to the hospital or something? I see. Where am I? His lips parted slightly, as if he was about to speak, but then he frowned and snapped his mouth shut. He seemed to hesitate for a moment before rubbing the back of his neck.
You're in my apartment. I carried you here. Before you get the wrong idea, I tried to ask for your address, but you fainted before I could even finish asking back at the hotel.
Oh. Crap. Right, I completely forgot that I came into work while I was sick. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have come in when I was sick. It's my fault for trouble. Huh? I flinched at the sudden flick on my forehead, quickly rubbing the spot. Ow. Then I noticed a hand positioned right in front of me. Did he just flick my forehead? What do you think this is, anime? A visual novel, sir? He huffed softly, a chuckle escaping him, as he clearly found my ramblings quite amusing. With the corners of his lips turning up slightly, he pulled his hand back.
None of that. It's partially my fault anyways.
He shifted on his feet, letting out a sigh as his eyes drifted anywhere but towards me. Aww.
I'm sorry about what happened previously. I overwhelmed you too badly during your job.
Eh? Kane frowned even more and seemed to be struggling with his words. Maybe he's trying to be nice?
I still stand by what I said. The way you handle customers is crappy.
Hey.
And the fact that you didn't even recognize the owner of the hotel?
Okay, that's unfair. I was new. He let out a huff, flashing me a wry smile.
You didn't even bother to look up the hotel before you got hired?
I froze for a split second, then turned my eyes elsewhere, letting out a nervous laugh. Hey, I've been job hunting for a long time. You be quiet. I had limited internet data and could barely afford internet cafes. What? I'm a your name in a visual novel. I'm broke AF. My refrigerator, I may as well just turn it off because it's so empty.
So, you're broke?
That was definitely not a question. It was a statement. I felt it strike deep into my soul. Yeah, well, I tried applying for a lot of jobs, but no one wants to hire someone who only has a high school diploma. He let out a hum before giving me a small pat on the head. A slight warmth crept to my cheeks, but I forced myself to dismiss the flutter in my chest. Why did I suddenly feel that way? Maybe it's just my fever acting up.
Can you sit up?
Yeah, let me just... I tried to push myself up, but to no avail. I couldn't even make it halfway before collapsing back onto the bed. I briefly caught Kane's expression, and his amusement at my suffering kind of miffed me.
You sure you don't need help?
I can get up myself, I swear.
Right.
And you clearly don't look like someone who wants to help me right now, with that smug look on your face while you watch me struggle to sit up. With frustration clouding my face, I tried to get up again, only to meet the same result. I snapped my gaze at him, shooting a glare that dared him to even think about laughing. And yet, he dared, covering his mouth and turning away, barely holding back his laughter. Through gritted teeth, I finally caved in and accepted my defeat. Yeah, well, I'm taking over your bed. Assuming this is your bed. Fine. Help me, please. He finally bursts out laughing, holding onto his sides as he doubled over from laughing. I refused to even glance at him, and simply glared at whatever my eyes landed on. I stared at the warm, fluffy blanket covering my legs. Clearly, this guy is rich from how expensive the stuff in his room looked. The blankets are nice, though. I heard his laughter die down and was reduced to snickers. Then, I felt a pair of arms wrap around my waist, effortlessly lifting me into a sitting position. That same warmth returned, lingering a little longer this time.
There we go. It wasn't so hard, was it?
Not another word. Please. I have a fever, I keep hurting myself, and I just had to go through the worst QuickTime event game that I've ever had to do. He complied, shaking his head with a smile as he handed me the bowl of soup. Thankfully, it was still warm. Thank you for the food. Kane smiled more, seeming to be more carefree and relaxed.
Don't mention it. Just let me know if you want more.
I stared at him for a moment, realizing how much my perception of him had shifted since our first meeting. You're a lot nicer outside of work compared to when I was at work. Kane froze, then quickly looked away, covering his mouth with his hand.
Maybe I want to be closer to you.
Oh no, is it the baby making music? Did you say something?
Nothing.
He kept his gaze away from me and proceeded to sit himself by the end of my feet.
Do you have any other questions?
What happened? What happened in the hotel? My memory is still hazy from the fever.
Ah, right.
He huffed.
I decided to transfer you to a different job and gave you a raise.
I stared at him for a few moments, my expression slowly shifting into one of confusion. Huh? Kane tilted his head to the side.
Is that so surprising?
Yes. I just started, literally yelled at your face, and ran out halfway through my job. And I was 3 hours late, rescuing orphans.
Yes, that's true, but I can tell from the way you dress and the clothes you wear that you don't have much money.
I was about to retort, but then I paused and glanced down at my clothes. Okay, yeah, I guess he kind of has a point. I looked like a homeless person. Well, first of all, rude.
Is stating facts considered rude now?
Yes, but hush it. Why help? Changing my job and giving me a raise doesn't really benefit you at all. He briefly chuckled, slipping his hand into his pocket.
Actually, I do gain something.
He pulled out a memory card and handed it to me. What?
The hotel is merely a side job that I do when I'm free. I'm the CEO of Techmorph. I'm sure you've heard of it before.
You own Techmorph? Techmorph is basically the main tech company on the island. Most of its devices on the island are built by them. If they did business outside of the island, I wouldn't be surprised if Kane becomes a millionaire. Oh. But for some reason, they choose to only sell their devices in the island.
Yes. Anyways, I have a new project right now that needs testing. The memory card I handed you is a beta version of our new product. Something similar to how game quests work, but it's for newcomers to earn money doing simple jobs. A lot of newcomers are usually not prepared and do not have proper certifications or working experience dealing with the locals here. So I developed an app that gives up miscellaneous tasks from partnered shops to gain money and some sort of experience.
Ooh. That sounds really innovative and kind of terrifying. So, what you're saying is, you want me to test the software? He nodded with a smirk.
Precisely. I mean, you don't have to if you're not up for it. However, that means I would need to fire you.
My jaw dropped as I stared at him, stunned. No, not after that QuickTime event I just went through. What?
What? Is it so surprising?
He shook his head with a dramatic sigh.
Don't get me wrong, I am a kind person, but not all the time. I don't usually do offers like this without benefits for both sides.
The audacity of this man. So what, you want me to run around the city the whole day? He looked shocked for a moment, as if I just said something unbelievable.
Of course not. Are you mad? You can definitely take your time doing your tasks. And it's not like you have strict working hours. You only need to return to the hotel to give me feedback.
So I can goof around in the morning if I want to? He hummed in agreement. My eyes sparkled at this revelation. I can finally sleep in without worry. What about the whole day? Since, there's no one around to monitor me, and I could just, fake doing the tasks. He gives me an unimpressed look.
You do realize that I also gather feedback from our partners, right?
Fluffing, darn it.
He shook his head with a sigh, but the corners of his mouth tugged into a small smile.
So, what do you say?
I stared down at the memory card in the palm of my hand, hesitation creeping in. Should I take on his offer? Well, obviously I'm gonna. Obviously, but what if I say no? No, I think I'll be fine. My guess is this is going to lead to the eviction ending again. Kane looked surprised.
What?
Well, you see, it seems a little sketchy to me. Why would someone help a nobody like me? He frowned.
Is it that unbelievable that I simply wanted to help?
Yes? Hey, didn't the voice at the beginning say that you're their host? I don't trust them, and I don't think I should trust you, no matter how pretty your eyes are.
Disgruntled anime noises. And why did the music stop? You really think you can survive in this island without any help?
Excuse me, are you trying to call me weak?
And what if I am calling you weak? You're merely just a rabbit in a cage full of wolves.
I felt shivers crawl through my spine as I slowly backed away from him while still on the bed. The bowl that was on my lap toppled down to the side, spilling its contents out and onto the bed. Oh no, his sheets! You're scaring me. He stayed silent for a few minutes before slowly turning his head towards the window. I followed his gaze and paled at the sight. A similar large yellow eye looked down into Kane's room. Oh, hi! It slowly shifted its gaze towards me. What the fluff was that? I backed up to the point that I fell off the bed with a yelp. Ack! I groaned in pain as I felt bile rise up from my stomach. I'm not safe. I need to get out. I mean, it's just a giant eye. Just use some pocket sand on it. No.
Did you suddenly turn into a klutz?
Stay away! I shifted back to the stairs and quickly pulled myself up despite the dizziness and ran down them.
Wait, you're not well. You're going to...
Uh-oh. Just as I got to the 5th step, my body leaned forward when I felt heavy pressure in my head. I saw his hand reach out towards me as I descended down the stairs. Just as I tried to reach back for help, my head hits the floor, and everything turns black. Well, fine. I just wanted to see what would happen. Hey, bad end for a moron. Hey. Shut up! Seriously? You really thought it was a good idea to reject the offer? You know I just wanted to see what would happen. You know what this is. You know what's going on. You saw the QuickTime event I had to go to. I don't like your tone, text box.
You really thought you can survive in this world without our help?
Oh, dear me. I lost my composure. Seriously, mortal, you can really make a joke without saying anything. Your actions to defy your purpose is so hilarious. Oh, well, you will bend to my will, eventually. Well, joke's on you. I just wanted to see what would happen. I forgot to go back and pick up that message from our ex-friend, so let's pick that up. I decided to look at the messages. Hey Espoir, how's everything on Absent Isle? I know we haven't been talking for a while, ever since that fight. We all realized we were wrong. We shouldn't have ignored you when you tried to reach out. You were suffering for a long time with your own problems, and I didn't know. But you should have said something. Maybe you should have tried harder to tell us that you felt left out. We would have tried to include you more in our hangouts. The reason why we don't call you is because you space out a lot, and most of the time you're just quiet. It's hard to talk to you, too, since your hobbies are pretty boring. Live up a bit over there. Go to some parties or something. Maybe then you'll learn how to socialize a little and grow out of your anxiety. You know what? I'll come visit you in a few days. Let me crash in your place, and I'll help you with talking with others. Get some friends of your own, if you know what I mean. I have business over there anyways with some clients. Send me your address. I can't wait to talk to you soon. Okay. First of all of that was rude. What? He's going to come over? After everything he and his so-called friends put me through? I bit my lower lip as my mind spiraled out of control. He doesn't know my address, and I ain't telling him. Right, he doesn't know my address. As long as I don't give him my address or talk to him, I'll never have to see him again. Phew! I took a deep breath to calm myself, but the lingering panic still gnawed at my heart. Don't think about it, Espoir. Don't think about it. Don't. I thought about it. Oh yeah, what happens if instead of taking the pills, I take deep breaths? I took deep breaths to calm myself down. I could feel my body shivering from the cold, but maybe close the window. I couldn't bring myself to do my usual routine, or at least dry myself off. My head feels like lead, the heavy pressure refusing to disappear as I collapsed onto the mattress. Struggling to kick my shoes off while I curled up in my blankets, I ignored the wetness seeping into my bed. Oh, maybe taking a nap would make me feel better tomorrow. Slowly, my eyes shut as I succumbed to a dreamless sleep. I could hear my alarm ringing next to me. I tried to reach out for it. I couldn't feel my arms. Why can't I feel my arms? My body felt numb all over. It was so cold. I struggled to open my eyes. Although barely, I managed to take a peek and saw that the window's open.
Yeah, you forgot to close it, silly. You forgot to close it.
Ah, my body temperature's dropping. I'm freezing to death. Aw, man. Well, at least I don't have to play a gosh darn minigame. I tried to call out for help, but I couldn't move my mouth. Huh, this sucks. Looks like I'm gonna have to put a freeze on any future endeavors. Looks like this job really left me out in the cold. Well, at least I'm finally able to chill out. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop. Warm. It feels warm. Ah, delicious frostbite. I could feel it. Did someone come to help? I'm so glad. Maybe now I can take a nap. I'll just rest a little while. Yep. Oh, okay. Didn't even give me a chance to defend myself. All right. Enjoy your popsicle. That end too. Frozen and killed. Yeah, well, I'm probably all crunchy and stuff, so there. Oh, wow. And don't you come at me with your sass. Wow. That's pretty pathetic. Shut up. To die from not taking care of your host properly. Letting them freeze to death in their own room. I wonder if you did that on purpose. Well, I didn't do it on purpose. Or perhaps you were careless. Yeah, that one. But I guess I can give you a tip. Certain items allow you to unlock unknown options for your host. Try to get the items needed, my dear savior. Oh, okay, so I can miss an item and be completely screwed. Don't disappoint me next time. Well, now I'm going to do it on purpose. Alright, buddy. Let's do this. Well, it's not like I have much of a choice. Yeah, the other option is falling down the stairs and dying. I looked down at the bowl, the tears welling up in my eyes. I really am just a hopeless person. He furrowed his brow and leaned forward, studying me intently. What on earth do you mean by that? I swallowed hard, forcing back the tears as best as I could. You said it yourself. I do my job terribly and can't even take care of myself. I make stupid decisions impulsively and I struggled to hold back my sobs as tears streaked down my cheeks. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be burdening you with my problems. I lowered my head, trying to hide the tears, not wanting to seem even more pathetic in front of someone. With my head still lowered, I heard the bed creak and felt the spot next to me sink under weight. I lifted my head in surprise as I felt an arm wrap around my shoulders awkwardly, followed by a firm pat on my head. Oof! I let out a soft hum from the firm pat and tried to look at him, but he kept my head firmly in place.
I know it's been hard, but
I could hear the hesitation and the silence, but didn't comment on it, still surprised by the awkward side hug.
you're a kind person, and I truly admire that.
I finally managed to look up at him in surprise. Me? Kane scoffed and rolled his eyes.
Of course. Who else would I be talking about if not you, dumb apple?
He glared at me, his cheeks turning bright red when he saw me smiling from ear to ear. Tease him? Look away. Tease him. Nobody's getting off easy after that quick time event I had to do. Aw, come on. Praise me more, Mr. Kane.
Heck no. You're enjoying this way too much.
I pouted at him, delighting in how his cheeks flushed an even deeper shade of red. Fine. I'll stop. For now. I couldn't help but giggle as I watched him quickly avert his gaze. I don't know why, but now that I've talked to him more, I feel so much more relaxed and at ease.
Anyways, what I meant was, you're not hopeless. You helped someone like me, even when I was giving you a hard time.
I almost said something like, well, that would be terrible customer service if I didn't, but I decided against it. Who knows what would happen if I ticked him off again.
So, what I'm trying to say is, don't put yourself down.
You really mean it? He let out a huff and ruffled my hair. Hey.
I'm not repeating myself.
Fine. Jeez, is this how you treat a sick guest? I have a fever.
Yeah, deal with it.
That's mean.
Too bad.
I rolled my eyes at him as he shook his head in disbelief.
I can't believe I'm arguing with a grown child.
Excuse me?
All right, that's enough chit-chat.
I scowled at him for cutting me off. Man, I really wanted to give him a piece of my mind for calling me a child. He stood up and gave my head one last pat.
There's some ibuprofen in the second drawer if you need it. I'll teach you how to use the app once you feel better.
He started to walk towards the stairs, ready to head down. He paused on the third step and turned to look at me, raising an eyebrow. Thank you for giving me another chance and for helping me. His eyes widened for a moment before softening slightly.
Rest well.
Just as he was about to leave, I caught a sight of his red ears. I never thought it would be this easy to fluster him. I looked down at my soup and took a small sip. Holy crap, this must be the best soup I've ever had in my life. Sorry, Mom, you can't beat this at all. Before I knew it, I had finished the entire bowl in a matter of seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if someone thought I just inhaled the soup. I let out a tiny yawn as I reached the bedside, pulling open the drawer to grab the medicine. Right after taking the medicine, I drifted off to sleep, clutching a couple of pillows to my chest. I slowly opened my eyes when I felt the sun's rays hitting my closed eyelids. I groaned in frustration at the light, quickly grabbing a pillow and pressing it over my face to block it out.
As much as I'd like to let you sleep in, I need to check your fever.
I stayed silent for a few moments before suddenly jolting up from the bed, the pillow slipping from my face and landing on my lap. Meld, I'm so sorry. Can't you people just let me sleep? Kane stood next to the bed, holding 2 mugs with steam rising from them.
It's fine. I just need to check on how you're doing before getting into business. Here, I made you some coffee. It's the only drink I have left, aside from water.
Thank you. Thank you. I really needed that. He passed me the mug before taking a sip from his own.
How are you feeling right now?
Well, I don't feel hot anymore, and the headache is gone. He nodded his head and lightly touched my forehead. I I felt warmth creeping up my cheek as my heart started racing. Man, he's treating me like how Mom treats me.
Well, lucky for you, it seems your fever's gone. We can get started with work then.
He pulled away as I began sulking. Can't you give me another day to rest? He let out a scoff and rolled his eyes.
Do you want to earn money or starve to death?
Money, please. Fine.
Good. You should start by putting the memory card into your phone.
I grumbled some more as I set the coffee mug down on the bedside table and reached for my phone in my pocket. After a few minutes of fiddling with the phone and trying to figure out where the memory card slot was, I finally installed it. It took a few minutes to get the installation done before giving him a thumbs up. Done. It's so cool. It's like you're in a game doing side quests.
I think there actually are apps like that. Yeah.
His cheeks flushed as he took another sip of his coffee, clearly trying to hide it. I finished up my coffee as fast as I could before getting out of bed. Okay, I'm ready to head out. Kane stared down at me, his eyes scanning me up and down, as if he were a scientist examining a newly discovered creature. I nervously shifted from where I stood. Well, what's the matter?
You're not going out in that.
What? What's wrong with what I'm wearing? He gave me a disgusted look before closing his eyes and pinching the bridge of his nose.
Don't get me wrong, but you look like you were crawling in trash cans.
Is it that obvious? I look fine. He gave me a deadpan look.
Nope.
What do you mean, nope? Eck! He grabbed me by the collar and dragged me to his closet. Please let go of me! Mr. Kane! I stepped out of the bathroom, now dressed in the clothes Kane had handed me. I swear, that man seems to care a little too much about how he looks. Why does he have, 20 different types of skincare products? And why does he have to lecture me about it? He's worse than my math teacher. But he did give me some of his clothes, and surprisingly, they're pretty comfortable. I'm done. Are you happy now? I blinked and got closer to him, waving a hand in front of his face. Mr. Kane? A trickle of blood runs down from his nose. Holy crap, are you okay? He gave a small nod and pointed at the stairs.
You can leave. The front door's easy to find.
But
I'll cut your salary if you don't leave.
You know what? I think I'm gonna help his stubborn booty cheeks. Listen, helping you is what got me into this mess, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I quickly ran over to his closet and grabbed a handkerchief from one of the drawers.
Now you're trying to steal clothes from...
Shut it. You're too stubborn.
What?
I came back to his side with the handkerchief and wiped the blood away. He immediately clamped his mouth shut. As much as I'd like to get better clothes, I'd rather not get arrested for stealing people's stuff. Especially since my boss is insanely rich and could probably make me homeless with no effort at all. I handed him back his handkerchief before heading downstairs to the front door. Thank you again for the help and offer, Mr. Kane. See you later at the hotel.
See you.
Tee-hee-hee-hee. And hey, we're not dead! Hey!
You think we should kill that pest in the hotel? What's that giant floating eyeball outside my window? No, not yet. It's too early. We shouldn't make any rash decisions. After all, killing them would be less satisfying. No one messes with what is mine.
Well, I guess that's what we're supposed to do. I guess that's what continues the adventure. Well, unless I missed something, as the walkthrough is a little difficult to read. That was the current demo for Lover's Paranoia. I kind of like that I don't know what's going on in this game. The description is also very vague. All I had was the warnings to go off of. Why didn't you warn me about the keyboard, QuickTime events? but it was a nice challenge. Well, there's definitely all kinds of shenanigans going on this little island, so if you would like to follow the developer, there is a link to this game in the description. And if you would like to see more amazing visual novels, feel free to peruse my channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, or interact in any way that's comfortable for you, as we're trying to make it to 100,000 subscribers. Well, we'll have to see what Mr. Kane and Giant Floating Eyeball have in store whenever this game updates. But for right now, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.